Hello, my name is Richity, and welcome back to episode 7 of the Create Economy server. So, as usual, I did a little bit of work between episodes. We'll get to that later, but first of all, I decorated the andesite storing area. The reason it's like so big, as opposed to what I have stored in here, is because I'm going to be lining this wall with all of the things that are going to be made from the andesite alloy. And then this is the lab that I was making. So it's got this big open area on the inside. It's got a lot of storage because this tree farm, was way more productive than I thought it was going to be. And that chest that I placed up there at the beginning was not enough, so I just have it all going down there now. And then, yeah, so this thing, like, it pretty much always has trees on top. Like, this thing never is able to actually get them all because of how slow it is. Which sounds bad, but I think it actually works fine because it's not like it ever stops working because of the amount of trees. And I think that this will look better if it has trees on top anyway. And then I also did one other thing between episodes. There's this extra area, and what this is it goes down here to the boiler. This is pretty much the same, just all mined out and made to look nice. I have a stressometer here so I can see how much remaining stress capacity I have. And then in here, I made some crushing wheels, which are pretty simple. They're just here so that I can manually crush things, which I will need to do today, as I'm going to be making some farms that require, or one of my farms is going to need a lot of glass for decorating it. So I guess I'll start with explaining. I said last time that I thought of a more fun way to make sugar that wasn't sugarcane. And if you've played Minecraft recently, you might know what I'm doing here with the flowers and the trees. So hopefully one of these trees will grow with a beehive on it. And I'm going to use that beehive to make honey to turn into honey bottles. And these honey bottles will then be crafted into sugar. And I can also use this for other things that I think probably count towards the large meal that's required for... Yeah, so I guess I could make honey roasted ham if I wanted to for the large meal that's required for the harvest menu. But yeah, I've just been waiting for these to grow. I'm hoping beehive will grow on them soon, but I'm gonna need to clear it out every so often just to plant more trees down. And anyway, besides the bee farm, I'm also going to be making the cocoa farm today. And then once those are both done, their products will eventually be routed over there where I'll make them into chocolate. And I guess I'll look at the recipes for chocolate now. So basic chocolate is made by mixing the sugar, cocoa, and milk. Milk is really easy to get because you just need a deployer that's milking a cow. Does need to be heated, but as I said, I have way too much wood, so I'll just use the wood to power the blaze burners over there for it. Then there are 3 other types of chocolate. I don't think ruby chocolate is actually automatable because it requires dragon breath, but white chocolate requires sugar, cocoa butter, and milk. And you get cocoa butter by pressing cocoa beans first and then crushing them. Or you get cocoa powder, which can be used to make hot chocolate. And then dark chocolate is made with cocoa butter, cocoa beans, sugar, and milk. So it's a bit more complicated. But what dark chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate, and ruby chocolate all give a special effect. I don't actually know what these two do, but this one I think just fills up your saturation like to the max. And then you can also actually use these to make more chocolates that'll combine their effects. So like by just by covering like white chocolate and chocolate, you get that chocolate candy, or you can cover it in dark chocolate, which actually I should check how to make caramel. Caramel is also pretty easy. So just sugar and water. I could probably be automating that as well. And then I could make different types of chocolate candy with it. Also, I don't know if you can hear in my voice, but I am a little bit sick today, but it's just a cold as far as I know, so I'm not too worried about it. And then in this tab, you can also see the chocolate the marshmallows, which are also part of Create Confectionery, but it requires automated slime, which would either require me to automate lime dye or actual just slime. So in terms of other things in Create Confectionery, I'm not sure how much of it I'll automate besides the chocolate. Like I said, I'll probably do the caramel, but the gingerbread is Honestly, I don't even think you could automate it since it requires cinder flower, and I don't think there's a way to automate netherrack. But maybe I'll make some way to make these, because it could be fun. And then they also make like a ton of blocks and stuff too, so I can sell those at a shop. But anyway, I guess I'll start, since I need to wait for bees to be grown on these trees, I guess I'll start with the cocoa bean farm. And how I'm going to do this, I think, is I'm going to place down all the cocoa beans first and get the farm all made. And then I will build the structure around it, as I usually do it the other way around, and it doesn't usually work very well. So this will be different. I think we're going to put it on this side, and it's going to be like just another silo connected to this one, and then it will have the storage right on this side, just like the wood is. And I think what I want to do for this is I'm just going to have these like towers of the jungle wood, and I'm going to use the gantry shafts to have mechanical harvesters, which I don't think I've shown them yet, but basically they can just harvest and replant any plants. So they will just be going up and down to harvest all the cocoa beans. First of all, I'm actually going to dig into the ground a little bit to make this a little bit nicer. Alright, so I set up the cocoa beans right over here for the farm, and the way in which I'm going to actually harvest them is going to be through the gantry shaft and the gantry carriage, which pretty easy to craft, both of them. But basically how they work is you start with the shaft, and you can place it just like normal shafts. So I'll place it all the way to the top of the jungle logs here, and then you can place the gantry carriage on the side of it. And then what I'm going to want to do is set up the mechanical harvesters. Actually, okay, wait. I think I need to build this one block below the things so that the mechanical harvesters can actually harvest everything. Alright, so now that I've built the farm, I guess I'll show you how it works. So the gantry shaft, when supplied with power, and when it's rotating in the correct direction, it will move along the shaft. And I've got the item vaults for storage, and then there's the mechanical harvesters right on the block of each of the cocoa beans, so that when it goes up, it will harvest all of them. I just have the whole thing glued together, so that when this thing moves, I have this gear shift so that I can control the direction it's moving. When I have it moving up, then it'll slowly go up and harvest each of the things and store them inside of the item vaults. Now this thing is currently just hooked up to a water wheel. I'll likely hook it up to actual power later, but I just wanted to get an idea of how it's going to work. Then I have the portable storage interface, and it's going to deposit the items up here, and then I will have like a pipe, I guess, kind of connecting the two buildings, transferring the cocoa beans into the lab. And then from the lab, it'll be transported underground to the chocolate factory. But yeah, it's pretty simple. I think that I'm also going to craft some of the redstone contacts. I'll place one on the machine, and then two off the machine, so that it can detect when it's at the top, and then it'll reverse the direction and go back down to the bottom, and vice versa. So when it's at the bottom, it'll toggle that and start going up to the top. So I'll craft those materials right now and get this thing like actually running fully automated. Right, so I got the whole farm hooked up. I decided to use the redstone links, the redstone contacts, and this powered toggle latch in it. The powered toggle latch is basically just a T flip-flop. When it's given power, it will flop its output. So that just makes it so that whenever it gets to the top, it'll power that and make it unpowered, and then when it gets to the bottom, it'll power it again, make it powered to make it spin the opposite direction. And the redstone links, you just give it a frequency. You right-click it with a wrench to make sure it's in receiving mode for the receiving end of it. The other end, you don't need to right-click it. And anything with the same frequency, it will transmit whatever redstone signal it gets to its other one. And then I've got the mechanical bell, just bring it right over into the building here, into the storage. And if you have chutes, if you like place a chute on the like diagonal side of a block, you can actually make diagonal chutes, which is pretty useful. But anyway, now that the cocoa farm is done, and it was actually a bit easier than I expected it to be, it's time to start working on the bee farm. And I think I saw there's at least one beehive right there. Unfortunately, due to the server event where it's eternally night, bees won't actually come out of their hives for now. But that's fine, I don't need sugar immediately anyway. As you can see, it's got the storage right in here, and just works like the wood storage. I just have the chutes bring it right down here, and then the cocoa beans are deposited into these chests, and it goes to the lowest one that it can. Which it's already gotten quite a bit of cocoa beans, so hopefully this thing will be efficient enough for all the different types of chocolate I'm going to be making. But anyway, now it's time to start on the bee farm. Alright, so I'm gonna be honest, it's been like about a week since I last recorded on the server. I don't really know what happened over the week, it just kind of flew by. And I didn't really get a chance to, like, record much. I recorded a little bit of footage, as the end of the Eternal Night event happened, so all the rewards came from it. I think I opened like 25 cog boxes. Really just got a lot of coins and some consumables. So, I mean, not anything that'll really help me with the factories. But I'm thinking now, since I finished the cocoa bean farm over there, I'll get started finally on the bee farm. As you can see, there's a bee nest right here. I think there's only one so far. I think there's only one bee nest so far. I don't know if it's got all the bees inside of it. I guess I probably should wait till nighttime to harvest it just to make sure. But I'll get all these trees taken care of. And I'll just do that using the mechanical saw. Oh, it took the bee nest with it. Okay then, I guess I need to be careful about that. That's pretty unfortunate, because that means I need to just wait again. I think I might have seen some bee nests in a nearby forest though, so I might just go grab those for the time being. But I'm gonna need quite a few, because I don't know, the design I'm thinking I'm gonna have some bee nests for like decoration, and then I'll use, to just like kind of fill it out, I'll use the like beehives or whatever they're called, the ones made with wood. So while I'm waiting a bit, I just remembered there's an item I've been meaning to craft, and I think it'll be really useful, and that's the toolbox. So they're pretty easy to craft. I think I should have all the ingredients, but they're really useful. So let me just craft it and show you. Alright, so basically how these things work is they have 8 inventory slots, and each slot can hold 4 stacks of an item. So let me demonstrate. Like I can just put all these things that I'm going to be using for the create mod, like very often in here. So these are like, I guess this toolbox would just be for general rotational, like transferring items. So like the gearboxes, shafts, cogs, mechanical belt, and then also the andesite casing and andesite alloy, since they're like basic resources used to craft these things as well. And basically, wherever I am, I can just press Alt, and I can see everything in the toolbox and just access it. I can place it around, I can pick it back up, and then when I'm done, I can just click return items to toolbox, and it'll all go back to the toolbox, which is pretty nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go look around for some beehives. Actually, first, since I can only pick up the beehives at night, I'm going to craft up a lot of glass for the actual decoration of the bee farm. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use this mechanical crusher. I believe I showed it already earlier in the episode. And this will just crush it down into gravel first. This takes longer than I thought it did. Oh, it's actually crushing the wrong direction. So now all the gravel it crushes will actually get put into the chest. And as you can see, the light on the hotbar slot where I took the items from the toolbox is like not lit up, but when I get right over here, it lights up again, and that's to say that I'm in range of the toolbox, so I can put it back into the toolbox. So they're like pretty nice, so I don't need to like fill up my inventory with all these like general materials, and I can just keep the toolbox with me and then place it down wherever I'm doing the like making the farm. Besides the glass, I'm thinking I'm probably also going to need some grass for the farm. I'll give you an idea of what I plan for it to look like once I actually start building it. But but I think it'll look kind of cool. It's turning to nighttime. I'm gonna go look around for some naturally spawning beehives. That way I can get some. Oh, I guess there's one like right here. There it is. So once it turns nighttime, the bees will all return to their hive, and then I can pick it up with all the bees inside. Okay, so I didn't go exploring that much, but I only managed to find 2 bee nests. I guess now I'll craft some campfires so that I can get some honeycombs for the beehives. I won't need campfires for all of them because I'm just going to be pumping the honey out of the nests and hives with pipes. I guess I'll put these 2 like right over here for now. Probably moving them later, but this will just make them accessible for grabbing the honeycombs. There's 2 of the beehives. Then, besides the beehives, I'm also going to make some scaffolding, just for decorations. I always like to put beehives on scaffolding because I think it looks nice. Alright, so I guess I'll start putting this thing together. Gonna need a bit of dirt. Got the glass. So I'm gonna put this right in the center. It's going to be like kind of like a big tower sort of thing, and then I'll have all the beehives inside. I don't know if this is really big enough, but I'm just gonna kind of hope it is. There'll be a beehive on each of these, and then I'll just kind of pump the honey right out. Maybe I'll send it over to this side, and then I'll have the like a float tank holding the honey over there. But it's not just gonna be this one layer. I'm thinking I'll have like little islands almost, kind of like clinging to the side of the tube near the top, or like as it goes up. But first I need to finish with the glass. Alright, so I think it's mostly finished. So I've got these like 2 little kind of floating islands of dirt on the top. I put some flowers on it. I'm probably gonna put some like custom trees on here with the beehives on them. We'll have the bee nests on the trees up here, and then I'll have all the beehives down here. You can see I put some flowers down. I have a lot of these pink petals. I don't know if they actually like count as flowers for bees, but if they don't, I've also got these extra flowers that should work, I would assume. Now all that's left to do is just to kind of wait until the bees over here are finished making honey so that I can start making more beehives. Alright, so I think that's all the trees and bushes added. Next, I really just need to wait for the bees to make enough honey to make the rest of the beehives. But I guess I could start with laying out the pipe system that will bring all the honey from the hives into the tank. So the way I'm going to be taking this stuff out is pretty simple. I'm just going to put pipes on top. Then I'm going to like route them to the center. Right out there. And then I'll route the pipes for the bees up here later, once they actually place them, because I don't know exactly where I'm going to place them yet. And I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but the mechanical pumps, they have a range of 8 blocks for pipes, so I need to make sure I place it somewhere where it can actually get the honey from all these hives. So I think if I place the mechanical pump right here, then that'll work. And then I can just bring it right over here into a blue tank. Alright, so now I guess I need to find some power for this, which I could honestly probably take it from the windmill. It doesn't need to be particularly fast, so I think I'll do that. Since my inventory is full, I'll just grab the toolbox right here. And then I'll place it down so I don't even need to fill my inventory with the materials. So I'll just place it down right there. I'm gonna need a cogwheel to craft one for the mechanical pump. But then I can put that back. Place it right there. And then if I come up here, right in the center, it should be this block, I think. If I just dig up here, you should find the windmill bearing. But yeah, it's going really slow, so I might want to speed it up. Maybe I'll do that later. Maybe I'll do that off camera. not like it's that interesting to see me. Oh wait, I just realized something. This beehive is not actually going to be, like, getting honey taken from it. Maybe instead, I'll just have the beehives all like this, rather than having them a block apart. Oh, it's something about the toolbox, is you can just hit it to pick it up. You don't even need to, like, break it. Like, it doesn't drop as an item, which is kind of nice. Oh, I guess this is another thing I never mentioned. You can right-click pipes to turn them into glass pipes. I always like to see the liquid flowing through them, so I always like to do that. Now I just need to get some bees over here. So I think if I just try and... I think that both of those hives should be full. So if I breed a bee, and then I take the baby over with me, then it should find its home in one of those beehives. Alright, but they should now see this home, hopefully. Then I can use those two to get more bees later. But yeah, I guess this will just be a lot of waiting. The honey farm should, like, actually technically be up and running now. Like, since I've got bees in there and the beehives, it'll just be really slow at the moment since I've only got 2 bees. In fact, why don't I actually speed this up now rather than waiting? Because that'll also help increase the efficiency of the wood farm. Not that I need efficiency in the wood farm, like, this thing's probably full again, so I'm gonna need to throw away a ton of wood so it doesn't, like, start overflowing. That's why I had the lava there, if anyone was wondering, so I could throw away the wood without it, Oh, and the way you activate and deactivate bearings like this is you just right-click them with an empty hand, and they'll come apart. And I did glue the first sails, but I don't actually think you really need to, glue all of them. Just because of the way sails work, like, I think that they, like, automatically will, like, connect to one another and, like, glue them. So it should be going a little bit faster now. Yep, actually that's quite a bit faster. So this place probably won't be as filled with trees anymore, but, I mean, as I said, that should be fine, I think. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it for me today. I mean, I got the cocoa farm done, the bee farm, I guess, is done. It's a lot of waiting I need to do now, so there's not really much point in me putting it in the episodes. It's just going to be more waiting, getting the honeycomb, placing beehives, breeding bees, and getting them in here. Yeah, I'll just do that in between episodes. I'll probably also decorate the cocoa farm. This place is probably decorated about as much as I'll decorate it. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!